One of the best ways to reduce stress prior to exams is to actually plan out your revision time. However, that's easier said than done. Creating a study schedule is one thing, but actually sticking to it for once is a completely different story. Over the years, I have finally found a process of making a study schedule that I can actually stick to. It's my own twist of calendar blocking, which is a technique where you take a calendar and block out every hour slot to totally coordinate the day ahead. I personally find that scheduling time to work on things via calendar blocking forces you to create the space to do them, and commits the amount of time you have to do it within, which has really helped to reduce procrastination. If you use a digital calendar, and suddenly decide that you want to change your schedule, you can easily edit the blocks. Or if you want to repeat the schedule the week after, you could just copy and paste the whole thing to the next week, which saves you a lot of time compared to traditional time planning. This slightly modified version of calendar blocking I'm going to talk about in this video has worked for me personally, so hopefully it will work for you as well if you're struggling to plan your revision effectively prior to exams. The first thing I do when I sit down to make my study schedule is to determine the compulsory events. I add my wake and sleep times, meal times, as well as commuting time on my calendar. This allows you to see how many hours in the day you actually have to do stuff in. I block in all of these in orange. Next, I determine the non-negotiables. Non-negotiables are things you do regularly every week that you enjoy and wouldn't want to compromise on. I know most people usually start off by filling in huge study blocks in order to maximize their study time. However, putting in the study blocks first often leads to you overcommitting to hours which are unrealistic, getting stressed, and discarding the study plan, which defeats the purpose of drawing it up in the first place. Putting in the fun stuff, then the studying into the plan, allows you to prioritize the things you love to do, while still leaving plenty of time to study. In turn, this means that you're willing to study in your study blocks, because you know that you are not sacrificing the things you want to do. The third thing I do is add in tasks in green, such as making notes and doing past papers. Once these tasks are completed, I would change the blocks from green to blue, so that my calendar doubles as a checklist. Before putting down what time to do what tasks on a calendar, I would suggest for you to determine the times when you're most productive in the day first. Some people concentrate best early in the morning, whilst others find they work best at night. For example, my productive time zones are around 2 to 7 p.m., then 9 to 11 p.m., and my unproductive time zones are the hours right after meals and early in the morning. Therefore, you should allocate your low brain activities during the unproductive time zones, and the high brain activities during the productive time zones. Examples of low brain activities include highlighting notes for your favorite or easiest subject. For example, for me, that would be maths and chemistry. Examples of high brain activities include doing a timed past paper for your least favorite subject. For me, that would be biology and further maths. Then after all the times for which each task is to be done has been decided, I block out 20 minutes or so sometime near the end of the week I'm planning for to use to block out the next week ahead. Please note that it's important to keep in mind that a study plan is a guide, not a rule book. Be flexible with it. There will be days which you just don't want to work, and days where you may want to work during your non-negotiables. As long as you stick with it most of the time, don't beat yourself up over it.